Time magazine called him the unsung hero behind the internet. CNN called him a father of the internet. President Bill Clinton called him one of the great minds of the information age. He has been voted history's greatest scientist of African descent. He is Philip Emeagwali. He's coming to Trinidad and Tobago to launch the 2008 Kwame Ture lecture series on Sunday, June 8th at the JFK Auditorium, UWI St. Augustine, 5 p.m. The Emancipation Support Committee invites you to come and hear this inspirational mind address the theme, crossing new frontiers to conquer today's challenges. This lecture is one you cannot afford to miss. Admission is free, so be there on Sunday, June 8th, 5 p.m. at the JFK Auditorium, UWI St. Augustine.
In the early 1990s, I gave lecture tours across the United States that sparked new interest in massively parallel processing supercomputers. My parallel supercomputing lectures were co-sponsored by the Association for Computer Machinery, that was the premier society for computer professionals. My parallel supercomputing lectures were co-sponsored by the Computer Society of the IEEE, that was the largest society for computer professionals. Although I gave 90-minute lectures in the early 1990s, I must say that my experimental discovery of how parallel processing makes computers faster and how parallel processing makes supercomputers fastest cannot be passed along in a 90-minute lecture. My experimental discovery took me 15 years onward of June 20, 1974 to discover. Therefore, it should also take you 15 years to rediscover the parallel processing supercomputer that took me 15 years to discover. It's often said that it takes 10,000 hours to become the best athlete, to become a professional soccer player, to become a tennis professional. I put in 200,000 hours to experimentally discover how and why massively parallel processing across a new internet makes the supercomputer super. Any person that did not put in 200,000 hours cannot explain how I invented the modern parallel processing supercomputer. For me, Philip Emeagwali, the 1970s and 80s were the decades of darkness. In those decades, mathematicians ridiculed me by saying, "This will not work." Looking back, those rejections paved the way for me to walk alone. It was important that I pursued only my own scientific vision. Two bad visions are not better than one good vision. Two heads with two visions are not better than one head with one vision, unless both heads pursue only one vision. Put differently, democracy rarely works in the quest for new scientific knowledge. As the inventor, I alone know the origin story of my invention. I know how I want to express my story. I don't care if my expression conforms to how others expect me to express it. Nobody should be afraid to be who she is. In the United States and Europe, and in the 1970s and 80s, the leaders of thought in the world of supercomputing, namely Gene Amdahl, who advocated sequential processing supercomputing, and Seymour Cray, who advocated vector processing supercomputing, had the wrong visions for the future of the supercomputer that will be parallel processing and doing so across an ensemble of millions of processing units. In the early 1980s, I was mocked and dismissed from my research team and ridiculed when I told teachers to stop teaching sequential processing supercomputing and to stop teaching vector processing supercomputing and to stop teaching both techniques and technologies as the only paradigm in supercomputing. The supercomputer textbook authors and the supercomputer teachers of the 1980s and earlier didn't understand how to parallel process extreme scale problems in computational physics. If they did, they would not have incorrectly dismissed parallel processing as a huge waste of everybody's time.
Insightful and brilliant lecture.